What is going on, everybody? Great to be here, and I just want to talk about a very, very short topic coming off of the release of Resident Evil 9 Requiem. Now, before I get into the topic itself, I do want to say that this game is just flat out amazing. I'm sure every single one of you can agree. Yet now, the game is not perfect, obviously, but what game is? Every game has its own flaws. But this is definitely a top tier Resident Evil game. That's not something that comes every single year. So, yeah, I'm like halfway through my Insanity run right now. I think I've beaten the game already like twice. So, let's just say I know my way around the game. I know how much I love it. And I'm sure all of you guys can say the exact same thing. But I want to say something specific about the story. And it's mostly something that does not make sense, like at all. To me, anyway. Now, if you guys don't remember, at the end of Resident Evil 8 Village, there is a very, very specific detail that led into the overall story of Resident Evil for the future going forward. And that was the fact that the BSAA were using bioweapons. Now, if y'all don't necessarily know what I'm talking about, the actual soldiers that they were sending into the field were not living humans. They were pretty much dead people that were revived and revamped to become their own soldiers. And the reason why this specific fact is so important to the overall narrative of the games is because the BSAA, well, from the very beginning anyway, from a standpoint, the BSAA were technically overlooked as the good guys of the story, the good military organization, while the Umbrella Corporation were the bad guys. So when Chris Redfield found out that the BSAA were doing what they were doing, it became a big issue because it's technically classified as a war crime in those games. So Chris Redfield, he was going to go confront the BSA about it, and that's the last we heard about that. So why does this matter exactly? Well, for one, that's the ending, literally how the game of Resident Evil 8 Village ended. And with the launch of Resident Evil 9 Requiem, that is not brought up once. Yes, Chris Redfield is mentioned in the game. Yes, the BSAA are also in the game. Is there any mention of them using bioweapons? No. Is there any mention of Chris confronting them? No. So where does this leave us exactly? Well, for starters, spoilers for Resident Evil 9 if you have not played it, Grace Ashcroft is not a real person. She was created by Oswald Spencer, who is the OG villain from the OG Resident Evil games. And he created an antivirus as a redemption arc known as Elpis. Elpis has many, many different side effects and all of that, as we've seen at the ending of the game. Now, I have one really, really good theory on why this was not answered at all in Resident Evil 9. It may sound a little crazy, but hear me out. Now, we know that Elpis and Zeno and Victor Gideon, they are all connected under an organization. Now, we also know that there were Umbrella Corporation, elite soldiers. Hunk was also in the game, which I'll go into another video. But yeah, the Umbrella Corporation was definitely involved in all this. Now, hear me out. This is going to sound crazy. What if the Umbrella Corporation and the BSA had a deal behind the scenes that no one else knows about, and that's why it's such a big deal? Now, you're probably thinking, dude, what the hell are you talking about? Those two would never work together, okay? Hear me out. You know how the BSAA were using bioweapons. They can't necessarily get their hands on those out of nowhere. The BSAA isn't like that. The Umbrella Corporation, however, is. So what if there was a behind-the-scenes deal with the BSAA and the Umbrella Corporation? The Umbrella Corporation, maybe what is left of the Red Umbrella, not the Blue Umbrella, which is a new organization, but the Red Umbrella, remnants of the OG Corporation, pretty much. They... It sounds crazy saying this, but this is the only thing I could think of. They sold some stuff like that to the BSAA to allow them to create their own bioweapons or to revive some of their dead soldiers to be their own bioweapons. Now, don't worry, I'm not just throwing this out there. I have a little bit of I want to say, proof to put this all together, some speculations, but also the overall ending in the game pretty much just throws it out there, man. They would not introduce Elpis like this for no reason. Elpis is what that is. I believe Elpis is the reason that the BSAA had bioweapons. And I'm going to show you guys right now with just a few cutscenes.
You need to see this. BSAA didn't send soldiers. This is a bioweapon.
What the hell were they thinking?
Orders, Captain.
Pick up the rest of the squad. Plot a course for BSAA Europe HQ. Someone's got to pay.
Leon S. Kennedy?
Depends who's asking.
Alpha, can you read me, sir? Yeah, they're safe. I got them. Yes, sir. Mr. Kennedy, I have a message from Captain Redfield.
Remaining BSAA forces have been objective before they send in the wolves.
So yeah, if you guys didn't understand what I just showed you and how this correlates with the story at all, let me explain. So Chris Redfield, he formed a little team called the Wolfhound Squad, which are pretty much these guys that wear night vision, they have cool guns and masks and fur jackets. Yeah. But they are a team of elite soldiers. Now, at the end of Resident Evil 8 Village, what did I say they did? They revealed to Chris that the BSA were using bioweapons as their main soldiers in the field. Now, skipping the majority of Resident Evil 9 except the whole Elpis storyline, right? Leon and Grace, they finally released Elpis, which cured Leon, cured Sherry, and just made Leon younger, I guess. Now, if that's what Elpis can do to someone who's alive, imagine what Elpis can do to someone who's dead. Now, the second cutscene I showed you. The Wolfhound Squad, Chris's soldiers, finding Leon and telling him that they have a message from Chris Redfield. What was the cutscene right after that, which is the post-credit scene of Resident Evil 9? It's literally the remnants of the Umbrella Corporation, also known as Red Umbrella, securing an objective before the Wolfhound Squad arrives, after they kill the BSA. This is why I think there was a secret deal with Red Umbrella and the BSA behind the scenes. And the Red Umbrella obviously doesn't want Chris to know about it because he is a big deal. And that means someone who is very big in the franchise and knows Chris is working behind the scenes in the Umbrella Corporation still. And I will go to that in another video, not in this one. But this is why I think Elpis is so important, because Elpis is what causing the BSAA to create their bioweapons. And the Red Umbrella Corporation knows about it. That's why they killed the BSAA, because they didn't want it to lead back to them. Now, I could sit here all day and say, nah, Chris just went to Leon for no reason. You know, just to ask him for help to actually figure out what the deal was. But there's no reason why the Wolfhound Squad would be there and not Chris. Just hitting Leon up saying, hey, can you come help me figure out what the BSA is doing and why they're doing this? No, I'm pretty sure they did that on purpose because Chris figured out that Elpis is this disease that is causing the BSA to do what they do. He figured that out. He kind of followed the trail back to Victor Gideon. And wow, who is already on that case? Leon Kennedy. Who does Chris already know pretty well? Leon Kennedy. So he obviously went to Leon for some information. Obviously, we don't see it in game, and it probably doesn't even happen in that game anyway. It's going to in the future. But if that is not the case, then why the hell is that post-credit scene even a thing? Why would it show Umbrella Corporation soldiers securing something specific to keep it away from the Wolfhound Squad and keep it out of their sights? It was obviously a setup. They killed the BSAA so that it didn't lead back to them. This is my theory. If you guys agree with me, please let me know. I really, really think this is it. I don't think Resident Evil 8 Village would end on such an odd note with such a big storyline idea and then not even follow off of it. Now, Resident Evil 9 definitely follows it, just not, how do I say it, directly. Like, it doesn't throw it in your face, but it does. It doesn't tell you, but if you dive deeper, it literally is right there. Elpis is what is causing the BSA to do this. Now, whatever is going to happen in the future, they go after the Umbrella Corporation. They realize Elpis is obviously still out there because that's obviously what those soldiers recovered from the BSAA. I don't know what else it would be, but I don't know. Let me know what you guys think in the video. I'm going to continue to do Resident Evil 9 storyline videos because this game left us with so many more questions than answers, and there's so much lore to dive deeper into. So let me know what you guys think. I love you guys. Thanks for stopping by. Peace.